In the cold depths of the Draxian prison ship, few prisoners garnered as much attention as the strange human the guards had trapped in cell 11A. For the reptilian Draxians, the decision had been easy. They couldn't understand why this particular human, who called himself Cal, was so feared in the Galactic database, nor why a dozen species had flagged him as extremely dangerous. He looked so ordinary. The Draxians couldn't resist mocking him. "Oh, beware the puny human," they jeered as they dragged him down the hall. The guards made a spectacle out of imprisoning him in the cell with their prized dragons. 2 adult Drachnor, each larger than a small spacecraft. They boasted about how the mighty beasts could crush any prisoner, shredding armor and pulverizing flesh. When the cell doors closed with a resounding thud, the guards waited, cackling with satisfaction. As soon as the doors locked, Cal found himself alone with the 2 dragons, their eyes glowing like embers in the shadows. Their scales shimmered like dark metal under the cell's dim neon light, and their powerful tails swayed in agitation, rattling the walls. He could feel the dragon's hot breath wash over him as they advanced, ready to strike. But Cal just stood there, his gaze calm and penetrating. The dragons paused, sensing something they hadn't felt in a very long time. A hint of danger, perhaps, but not from a predator, they understood. It was an aura, an energy that emanated from the man that was unfamiliar. Cal slowly raised one hand, not to defend but to communicate. He whispered words, ancient ones that carried through the silence like smoke on a gentle breeze. His voice was low and calm, his posture unthreatening yet somehow authoritative. The dragons stilled, their towering bodies folding down to a crouch, ears perked as they tilted their massive heads. The Draxian guards, viewing from the cell's small camera, stared in disbelief. "What's he doing?" one whispered. "Why aren't the Drachnor attacking?" Inside the cell, Cal continued speaking, his voice rich with a knowledge lost to the stars. He wasn't telling the dragons what to do, no. He was inviting them to remember something ancient, a time when humans and creatures of their ilk had once shared the galaxy in an alliance older than time itself. Slowly, the dragons seemed to recognize this, letting out a low rumble that sounded almost like reverence. One of the guards slammed his clawed hand on the console. "Impossible. Humans have no such abilities." Yet Cal's presence in the cell was undeniable proof to the contrary. And as if on cue, the dragons, who had moments ago prepared to kill him, now encircled him protectively, their scaly tails sweeping close around him, their eyes fixed on the camera. A single phrase, amplified by the dragon's low, powerful voices, echoed in the cell. "Release the one who knows the way." The guards recoiled in shock. This was no ordinary human. Cal was a dragon speaker, one of the last of an ancient line known to hold sway over some of the galaxy's most formidable beasts. Hearing the commotion, the Draxian warden, a cold-hearted tyrant named Crex, stormed into the observation room. "What's happening here?" he snarled. The guards fumbled to explain, but Crex only grew more furious. "A human cannot control a Drachnor," he hissed. He activated the cell's shock panel, intending to electrocute Cal into submission. But as the voltage surged, the dragons stood in unison, their bodies arching over Cal in a shielded dome, absorbing the full brunt of the electricity. They roared, and in a surge of power, released a wave of flame so hot that it melted the cell walls. Cal remained untouched in the center, unbothered by the chaos around him. Finally, the dragon's roaring stopped. Smoke filled the observation room, and as it cleared, Crex saw the full horror of his mistake. Cal now stood before him, the dragons flanking his sides, smoldering but unscathed. They had broken through the cell walls with him, and a smirk played on Cal's face as he stepped forward. "You thought I was just a human?" Cal asked, his voice filled with dark amusement. "I'm a protector of the Drachnor, and now I think I've overstayed my welcome." With a slight gesture, he signaled to the dragons, who turned to Crex, their eyes blazing. Crex stumbled backward, but it was too late. The dragons released another blast of fire, sparing no one who had mocked or mistreated their newfound ally. Cal, the mysterious dragon speaker, strode through the flaming wreckage of the Draxian ship with his new allies, free once again. As he vanished into the darkness of space, tales of the mysterious human who controlled dragons spread like wildfire, a warning to those who dared underestimate the humans of Earth. And thus, the legend of Cal, the dragon speaker, began anew.